really have my hands on the new Apple devices yet. Here is the part of the Apple event I actually care about. Of course, this year the iPhone 16 came in 60Hz. Yes, same mode, what's new? But at least though, we have some pretty kind of subtle but kind of good camera updates coming to the entire iPhone 16 lineup. So far so good. The flashiest and like the most noticeable feature is the new dedicated camera button. Yeah, and Apple calls it their camera control button. It's flushed into the surface of the build of the iPhone. It's well integrated and it's kind of touch, yeah, and it has haptic feedback. And it can launch the camera on your iPhone with just a click. And then when you press it, it acts as a shutter button. When you press and hold it, it lets you record video. When you slide your finger on it, it lets you adjust your camera zoom. A kind of lighter double tap on the button will open a little menu where you can adjust your exposure, your focus and stuff like that. And of course, you know Apple's haptic or taptic engine will provide haptic feedback to match every single kind of control you can access with that camera control button. Apple also claims that later this year they'll still update the camera control button to allow a little kind of lightly gentle push that can trigger a different kind of setting. According to them, it will let you lock exposure on the subject. With the camera control, there's a kind of Google Lens-ish feature that also coming. Apple calls it visual intelligence. With the camera control button, Apple claims that button can open a kind of image taker that lets you take pictures to let you know more about a location, object, an animal, a store, or any kind of subject you want to know more about. Yes, we know Google Lens, but let's just call it visual intelligence to make it sound fancy. So technically, it's Google Lens but done by Apple. It forms a combination of on-device intelligence and Apple intelligence. And also for privacy's sake, Apple claims they would never store those images you take with that. Coming to the entire lineup are upgraded or updated photographic styles, yeah, which are just technically filters that put a predefined color scheme on your picture before it even takes the picture. But Apple themselves claim they are not just filters, yeah, because they are just kind of fine-tuned to affect some certain kind of color codes. Yeah, we know photographic styles officially launched in 2021 with the release of the iPhone 13 series. And personally, I don't really know many people that use those, yeah, because I don't really use them, yeah. Like, it just alters the picture's original color scheme, yeah, but maybe people might get a little interest in that now. Who knows? What's new in it this year is that users can now like fine-tune and further control and manipulate the color with a new control tab for each filter setting. For iPhone 16, apart from the awesome kind of blue we have now, yeah, we have the wide angle lens from last year's 15 Pro models to replace their previous wide angle lens. And that wide angle lens, being from a Pro, finally supports macro in the base models. The 16 and 16 Plus's new stacked camera array would let you take spatial videos for the Apple Vision Pro. Speaking of pros, something new to the Pro lineup this year is that both the Pro and the Pro Max have the exact same camera system. So when you want that compact Pro model iPhone, you don't have to sacrifice that much anymore besides just extra battery life and extra real estate. Yeah, so you can get your full performance along with the full camera system Apple has to offer. Yeah, you don't have to be forced to buy the Pro Max just because of the camera system. Trust me, I have a 6.7 inch iPhone and I'm thinking of going back to a 6.1 inch. Yeah, it's just harder to keep the bigger iPhone safe. Plus, I have small hands, so I would gladly give up a little battery life in order to have a more compact device that fits well into my pocket, my hand, and my life. And also the 16 Pro is now 6.3 inches and we have 6.9 mind-blowing inches for the 16 Pro Max. Yeah, and that places the Pro in the perfect compromise between screen size and battery. Yeah, because obviously they would bump the battery a little bit. Spec-wise on the camera though, we are getting a new 48 megapixel ultra-wide camera with autofocus just like before. We also have the 48 megapixel main fusion camera, and it has a second generation quad pixel sensor. And we have the same 5x telephoto, slightly fine-tuned but from last year's Pro Max. And with all of that, you can now film in 4K at 120 frames per second. I think that's like the biggest actual leap in camera, yeah, this year, because like most of the other stuff are kind of negligible because they are things you're familiar with. Yeah, but no one is familiar with 4K at 120 frames per second. I mean, according to Apple, The Weeknd used that to shoot his music videos, and the videographers were quite impressed because they could push it as well as they could push their cameras without really feeling like it's just a phone. Yeah, it did its work quite well. And it shoots the 4K at 120 frames per second in log, which allows you to fine tune and customize the color scheme to suit whatever experience you're looking for. You'll still need an external device for log though. Apple also sets the new ability for you to adjust the frames per second after recording the video. So you can now dynamically adjust between 25, 30, 24, 60, 120 FPS. Also coming to the brand new 16 Pro and Pro Max are 4 new microphones that can record spatial audio that's well compatible with the Apple Vision Pro and the new AirPods Pro, along with any AirPods Pro or AirPods that support spatial audio. There's also a software feature that lets you adjust audio to suit any effect you're looking for. Yeah, there's a pre-recorded version of this in the keynote.
Next uses machine learning to identify and separate background elements from speech and lets you choose from 3 voice options. The in-frame mix isolates the voice of the person on camera so you don't lose that perfect take.
No, it's your grandma's bunk cake.
Yeah, okay, that's very funny. All right.
Studio Mix gives the effect of a recording in a professional studio, complete with sound dampening walls, effectively eliminating reverb.
No, it's your grandma's bunk cakes.
Times 2.
Yeah, okay, that's very funny. All right.
Enjoy.
And Cinematic Mix handles voices like in movies, with the vocal track positioned in the front.
Is that what I think it is?
No, it's your grandma's bunk cake.
And environmental noises in the surround.
All right.
Apart from all this, we have the new Apple A18 and A18 Pro on 16 Pro and 16 Pro Max respectively. On the A18 Pro, we have faster ray tracing, we have a slightly better GPU with also 15% more performance. We have a slightly better CPU. I guess the CPU and GPU aren't that different from before that much. Yeah, that's why they're comparing it with the A16 and A13, A14. You know, they were going way back. They couldn't even use the A15 to compare it because they could tell that it's not that far off. Yeah. And they are both on the 3nm process now. Yeah, so I think the iPhone 16 is quite reasonable. There is more about the CPU, but I'll reserve that for future talk. We also had the Apple Watch Series 10, Apple Watch Ultra 2, the AirPods and the base AirPods in 2 variants, one with noise cancellation, transparency, and adaptive mode. Yeah, while the other one with just regular base AirPods stuff you know about.